Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with us today. She is a nail artist and entrepreneur. Please welcome Canishiea Sams. Hello, Canishiea. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well today.
That's good. Now, I want to kick off this interview by asking, where did you grow up and how did you get started into the nail industry?
I grew up in Fresno, California, and how I got into the nail industry, I just started like painting my nails a lot, just like going to Sally's and picking out polishes, and I would just try little prints that I would see like in my clothing and stuff, and I was like, this is really cool. So then I like dug into Pinterest, and I was like, oh
Mm.
my God, it's a whole world. This is a whole thing. So that was like 10 years ago, I feel like. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it seems, oh my goodness. I think I've been licensed for like 8 years. So I think it's been like around 10 years.
Oh, that's great. That's really, really cool. Now, who are like your favorite like nail artists that you've been, looking at or look up to?
For the longest, like when I first started like to dive into the nail world, I was like, and I still do, like Astro Wifey, Spiffster, Candy Yams. There's so
Mhm.
many, but like literally those were like, those are the first people I ever like followed. And I
Mhm.
was like big into like Japanese nail art. So like Nail Daisy, who else? Like just Nail Room, everybody that I
Mhm.
love the whole Japanese nail art scene. That really got me like in there. But yeah, those are my faves. Still are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I looked up, I looked at Astro Wifey,
Hmm.
Candy Yams, also Naomi Yasuda.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, her work is very, very good. Spiffster. I like Spiffster's work because it's so like unique.
I love it. I love Spister's work. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like this abstract, but it's like that graffiti type of vibe, that street art.
Definitely. I love that. I love that. It's her work is so distinctive and I love that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when your work is so distinctive, like that's what gravitates to a lot of people.
Yes. People love that. Like, so many people are trying to like emulate and do things like other people. And it's just like, when you find what you like to do, just do that. Like, it doesn't matter if it's popular or people are liking it, because I noticed like even starting like when I started, you have to do what you like because
Right,
the passion is going to leave if you're not doing what you like.
right.
So do the art that you want and create your own style. You know what I mean? That's what's going to be the most memorable and like stick around in people's mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're in your own lane. That's
Exactly.
what matters. I look at like Nails by Deb, like her style
Yes.
is very 90s. I like how she's
That
like
is
that
awesome.
nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Dev is a good friend. Like literally, she's good. She can paint anything. The girl can paint anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cartoon characters or graffiti words, whatever it is.
I know, and she makes it look so easy. She's so dope. For real.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. She's absolutely incredible. Now, how would you describe your nail art style?
Over the years it's evolved, you know what I mean? But like I feel like at this point in my journey with nails, like I really love um I'm really into like color palette, just like picking so many different colors. And I tend to go to like abstract and geometric shapes.
Mhm.
Just whatever I'm like really feeling, but I really feel like those two like speak to me. Like I'm like I see colors and I immediately start to like do things in my brain. It's so weird.
Mhm.
But color palette and abstract, I would say my art is very abstract. Like I just go with the flow. Like there's it's a very like rarity that my nails like match. Like today, like I took my press-ons off like yesterday. So I just have a pink shade on, and then like tomorrow I'll re-up and do something else. Like, but it
Mhm.
just depends.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And I like with your style, like it's very abstract, but it gives like that earthy vibe.
I love the earth. You can see
Yeah,
my plants behind me. Yeah, I love
yeah.
I'm very inspired by like what's naturally in nature. Like I was taking my son to school and I just seen like the blue sky and the lemon trees and I was like, that would be a dope nail. Like
Mhm.
just I'm just so inspired by just what is around me. You know what I mean? Like in my immediate environment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The environment, especially nature, would
Oh
give
yeah.
you the most inspiration. Like
That's
for
where everything comes from. Like
right.
that is the inspiration, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's like with me, like I'm into like a lot of bright colors and I
Yes.
get inspired by like Salvador Dali and
Yes.
Rosanes and Keith Haring and Jean-Michel
Oh yeah.
Basquiat.
Oh my God. Basquiat and oh my gosh. Yes, my fave. Yes.
And these are like the artists that, stood out and they were all different in their own way. And
Yes.
that's what they inspired me to get into art. I'm like bright colors, abstract line work, and
Yeah, I have this Basquiat book, and like my husband and my kid, we always like just like we'll take it and read it, but it's like the biggest compilation of his work. It's like a 40th, I don't know. It's like it looks like a dictionary. It's
Mhm.
like so thick. And every time I'm looking at, I'm just like so inspired by the man because I'm just like, he did what the hell he wanted to do. It did not
Right.
matter. And like it doesn't matter if it makes sense to you, it made sense to him, you know what I mean? And I think just like doing what you want to do is always what's gonna stick out. Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't looking to, you know what I mean? He was like, this is some crazy stuff, and like, I don't care how it's perceived, you know?
Right. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing with like music, like certain people, if you look at Beyonce or like the singer Maxwell, like they
Oh,
both
Maxwell. Oh,
they both have like a distinct type of sound and type of vibe of music. And
exactly.
they're both in their own lane. So, that's really cool about art. Like everyone is different. It isn't the
Everyone is
same
different.
thing.
And that's the thing, that's a beautiful thing about individuality. Like, no matter what, like no one can do exactly what you do, regardless
Mhm.
of like who you look up to and who you're still inspiring to be. It's like you are you. And that's what's gonna make your experiences and different your eye, you know, portray different things. So I love that about us
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. Now, how would you describe the nail scene in LA?
in LA. See, I'm in North Cal, I'm in Sac, in I feel like the nail scene's way it's not way different over there versus here, but I feel like it's a lot more like bright and editorial in LA. Like even
Mhm.
here in Sacramento today, it's like super sunny and stuff, but I feel like people in LA are way much more bolder with their nails, which I love so much because they're like their environment is
Mhm.
bright, their environment is fashion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I love that about LA. Like they don't care. I remember like traveling to LA multiple times to get my nails done, and the drive was wild. But I'm like, they have so many amazing nail artists there.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think it just gravitates from just the fashion scene. Like everything's everything's in LA, you know?
Right.
It's its own little world.
Yeah. That's kind of the same thing with like New York. And I went to New York at one point when I was
Mhm.
applying for. I wanted to go to this portfolio day for FIT, and FIT is
Mhm.
like one of the top fashion schools in the world. And you look at FIT and Parsons, especially just the fashion district in
Yeah.
itself. Like it's so much stuff going on, especially like with Atlanta,
Yeah.
So certain cities like they have that fashion S type of vibe.
Exactly, for sure. And just like, like the Bay Area is an hour and a half away from us. And I just love even like in that transit, like it's so different. And it's just like
Mhm.
this city is what the city is. And there's so much art everywhere. And like the architecture, the walls, like everything is just like it's insane. It's insane. Like it's a vibe to every city, you know?
Yeah. And that's the same thing. Like I got into like fashion. I get inspired by like Schiaparelli and Dolce & Gabbana, like just how
Yeah.
unique their styles are. And I
Yes.
went to SCAD, with the Savannah College of Art and Design, and
Mhm.
getting exposed to different fashion styles with the different like fashion students and the
Mhm.
different artists.
Yes. It's lovely, like, it's out there. There's so much to be seen, like, I love how art is everything. It's in everything and it is everything, you know? There's just so
Mhm.
many ways to be inspired by colors and patterns and, it's amazing. Like, my brain's always like, "Put that on the nail,"
Right.
you know?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Like art is like the biggest thing like in the world that impacts the world, especially
Yeah,
culture.
it's how you feel about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Mhm.
gonna make you feel something
Yeah.
regardless of what it is. And it doesn't have to be, like, the most positive feeling of, but it's gonna evoke something from you.
Yeah. That's the thing. And especially even if you can't relate to it.
Exactly. And it's like, what does that say? That's a meaning in itself. And you know what I mean? Like the interpretation and like was it meant to be portrayed or received like that? Like, there's just so much nuance to it. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to ask like your experience owning your own nail salon. So what has been your experience owning your own nail salon or studio?
Yeah, so I had my own studio like for when I first started doing nails, I started booth renting.
Mm,
And then I got my own little studio. It was nice because I like to work like by myself. Like I like to
mm,
like hone in and create my own energy in the space. So that
right,
like helps so much with just like your just the whole vibe of what you're going for. So
right.
I like put my Maxwell and NDRE on and put my diffuser on and like set the tone for what I want, you know what I mean? And it just makes so much of a difference. Kind of, I know some people love to work together with people, but I have to have the right people in there because I'm such an individualistic person in that sense. Like I'm like, I need this to be the way I want it to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't need fast busyness, and that's how a lot of salons are. I'm just like,
Mhm.
you're gonna be here for a while, so we're gonna set the vibe and we're gonna enjoy it. And so I feel like my clients always love that. They're like, this is my appointment with this person for this allotted time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it creates an environment where I can focus and create the nails that we want to make. You know what I mean? It helps creativity just blossom. You know what I mean? Having that surrounding and that mood. So I really enjoyed having my studio. I had it for a few years and then the pandemic hit. And then I closed my studio and then I started working from home doing my press ons. But still, like, I still have those moments where I'm like, I'm going to open a studio again. And then other days I'm like, nah. I go back and forth because I do miss
Right.
seeing clients, but I do like that duality. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know, let me see. Did my sound change for you? No?
For a second, but for the most part, it's fine.
It's fine, okay, because I don't know if my AirPods had connected. That was weird. Um, yeah, so it just really like I love that in nails, there's so many people just like, oh, nails. Like there's so
Right.
much you can do in the nail community. Like
Mhm.
even with starting my press online, I was just like, I this wasn't a thought of mine a couple years ago. And it just opened so many doors. So I love that. I love that about this community. There's a lot to it.
Mhm. Yeah, most definitely. Now, what is your whole take in terms of like the importance of pricing and understanding, one's value?
That's super big. Like when I was in my studio and I was like taking one-on-one courses and I was like teaching, people, it was like mainly like we would do nail structure and prep work and all that, but I would really like hone in on the business side of it because a lot of times the nail artists, they don't feel that they're worthy of that price point or that work, even though they're investing so much time and so much product. And I'm a big advocate, charge your worth. What we
Mhm.
do is a luxury, just like anything else. No
Right.
one needs to get their nails done. You don't need to get your hair done, but what you do, you just go and spend money on it. You know what I
Right.
mean? You don't need to get your
Yeah.
lashes done. You don't need to do this, but you do it and you don't argue about those prices. You pay it. So you have something that can last on your nails for weeks and weeks and someone's going back and forth with you about the value, like I'm not doing that. So I feel like you have to attract your clientele and you have to be like your work has to hold for itself too, you know what I mean?
Right.
That takes years to hone in on. But I'm a big advocate, like you're going to charge your worth and your clientele is going to understand that because you're spending hours of prep. Like if this was something that anyone could do, then go do that, go to that place. But this is specialized. Like my clients, their appointments will always be 2 hours, 2 hours plus. And it was just like, this is going to be your 2 hours that you invest your time in because it's something you love to do. And
Right.
then I'll see you in 5 weeks.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that just, it's going to stand the time, with like washing dishes and doing all your do, like building the nail, structuring it so it can last and like making sure your nails are in a place where, you know what I mean, they're strong enough to withhold and make sure we're not going past certain lengths that are comfortable for you. So it's just like so much more than art, you know what I mean? People don't understand. I feel like outsiders who don't specialize in nail art and nail health and stuff, they don't understand how much like work it goes into it. Like for example, like back in the day when I would like go back home and travel, and I would have like a friend or a family member say, like, can you bring your nail kit because, I know you're in town. But I'm like, it's not just polish. I got to bring bits, my e-file, you know what I mean? Multiple polishes, like my gems, like make sure I have all my, just so many. But that's the thing. People think it's just, well, you got polish in a file, like, and it's not like
It's
that.
not, no.
No, it's like, I got 5 million items. Like, whew,
Mhm.
it's a lot of work. So I'm just like, get comfortable in your craft, learn yourself, learn your clientele, you know what I mean? And like stick to that, because I believe when I started, like I was always more, I guess, expensive just because I specialize in nail art from the get and nail health. And so like, but I never like shied away from it. Like I was just like, that is the price. That is the price. And like, you'll
Mhm.
see why it's the price. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be someone cheaper or whatever, and you're willing, you can go and do that. But I just feel like if we are a luxury and we withhold and we withstand the quality, like you're going to have to pay for it. And I have like no shame about that anymore.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of shame in that in the nail community, just because of like, if you look at just the general like nails landscape, like people go to nail shops, they're in and out, whatever. But you want Instagram nails, right?
Mhm.
Instagram nails are different from just going to get a mani and pedi at a salon. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so there's a lot of like breaking that stigma down, in a sense of like, if you're going to want nail art extensions, this and that, like those things are adding up too, and they add on time. So we need to be paid and like, allocated for that too as well.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And and it's understand that, us as nail artists, we have to eat, we have to pay bills and things
We
like
have bills, we got studio rent, we got like, for example, I forgot that I was running out this color, and I was like, I need this color. I use it pretty often. It's
mm,
$18 polish. You know what I mean?
mm,
And then I had to pay expedited shipping, and it's like $35 for one item.
yeah,
Yes, I'm gonna get my worth out of that, but I don't think a lot of people understand just having to buy. That's one polish with one like shipping. You know
mm,
what I mean? I think people, it's not, I don't think, people don't know, but it's our job to kind of like educate people. Like, my job is not to just like buy all these supplies and then do the work. So you have supply costs, you have the time you allowed it in it, and then you have to pay yourself. So that goes into the pricing of your service or the item that you're trying to, bring to the market.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to pay for the materials and things like that. Like
I look at
everything
that
has
bill and I
cost.
just be like, I go to the beauty supply store, I'm just like, what do you need, girl? Because you got a lot of wants. What do you need? Okay, your needs is already $300.
All right.
You know what I mean? This is like, and you're like, got 4 items. People don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. You got, like I said, like you got bills to pay, rent and different things, like, especially if you don't understand like the time and the materials you use, and
Yes,
especially the quality of the products. The products are expensive, like how you said,
yes,
like say for instance, like C&D Vinyl Lux,
yeah,
or like a
no joke.
shellac is like
Yeah,
$17.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's no joke around here. And I also think that people like, if people are starting now, right now in the nail industry, I feel like they might have a lot of misconceptions. They see these bigger accounts and everyone's art is perfect and the lighting is great. It's like we got to struggle and we had to build our kit from that point.
Yeah.
Like, I invested so much time, just as so many other nail artists, and so much material and so much training and education and putting in the work within myself. And it's like, you got to do the work. Like, you also can't just get these supplies that cost $1 million and then start charging people $100 and you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So, you know what I mean? It takes time. And don't nobody want to take time. I'm like, it takes time to, I don't even want to say perfect your craft, because nothing's perfect. It takes time to build, your craft up and for what you want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it takes time to master like your style. I would say put it that
Yes.
way. You
That's a big thing, mastering your own style, not everything you see everyone else doing. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's gonna go in style. That's gonna go. That is what it is. But what like do you gravitate towards, and what do you enjoy doing? You know, what art brings you joy? And that's what I take from a standpoint. Like, if I don't like painting this, I'm not gonna paint it. But there's a difference from like not challenging yourself. You can like do some very hard art and you're like, but that's not even what I want to do, but I just wanted to challenge myself, see if I was able to do it. You know what I mean? But I think that just stands the time of like when you finally hone in. And I think it takes years. It takes years to figure out like what you like and what you're good at, you know?
Yeah, what makes you stand out in terms of like your own style? That's
Yeah,
the thing too.
exactly.
So that's the thing. But yeah, like it takes time to build a good product, and that's the thing. That's something people have to understand. Like we're spending hours on end
Yeah.
building a set of nails, or
Mhm.
building, a great set of like nails with gel or acrylic,
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
So that's the
And I
thing.
think too, like people don't understand like what we do is like artistry. It's just on a different type of canvas. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I'm like I've gotten to the point where I hang my nail art sets on the wall. It's art.
Hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
painted. It's a different kind of canvas, and it is what it is. Like these are tiny little creations. You know what I mean? And it's just like so much into it, and it deserves to be shown just like anything else that you hang in your house.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when it comes down to press-on nails, like what is your whole process behind designing a set of press-ons for a client?
So it kind of just depends. So like for me, I specialize in like mystery sets, and that's so like I would do like anything on my nails because I was trying out 5 million styles, and I just like having something different on every nail. And my
Mhm.
clients would see that and they're like, "Yo, I want that." And I'm like, "Okay, so now we got this manicure called mystery. So you can come with a color concept, and we can go from there. You can just be like, forget it. You just do your thing." And so that I found was like the most exciting for me. Or
Mhm.
I'd see like, like some street art or some like textile. I'm like, I want to do that on her nails. And
Right.
so that was like something I took from my salon business onto my press on. So I have this thing called mystery sets, and it's just like you can choose your palette, which would you want earth tones, neutrals, nudes, or would you like bright nudes or like open? When you put open, it's fair game. Like anything's possible. Like if you don't like pink, say I hate pink. But when you choose open, you just got to know that like anything is possible. And
Right.
I think with so many things, it's best to let the artist kind of like do their thing. Like I have other options where it's like you can pick exactly that. If you want to see that on your nail, then you can pick that. But if you really want something that's unique to my style and you're like, oh man, I want like my go-to looks are unique to my style, but I can reproduce those. But if you're getting a mystery set from me, I'm not redoing this set for anyone. You're going to be the only person with this set of nails like in the world. And you know what I mean? I think that like that intrigues a lot of people, you know what I mean? And so I pick a color palette and I kind of go from there. Sometimes, like most of the times, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just like, my desk is like filled with 5 million colors and brushes, and it's just like madness. But then I'm like, I start getting a groove. I'm like, okay, that's the shapes. Those are the lines you want to do. That's the kind of colors you want. Okay, you use that color here. Let's incorporate it over here. So it's just like, it's a weird process. I'm still like amazed. Like, I did not know I was going to do that. Like, I don't know. I don't usually go in with a plan unless it was like an exact print that I seen and I was like, I want to put that on there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, with like press-on nails, like for someone who is getting started with like selling press-ons and things like that,
Mhm.
what are some pieces of advice would you give for someone who is just starting their press-on nail business?
I would say, hone into who your audience is and like talk to yourself and figure out what your strengths are. What is going to be profitable for you? What is going to be not super time consuming? And if it is time consuming, make sure that you're being compensated for that time. So see what your audience is into. Like, are you going to be doing the same art that you do like in like if you are a nail artist, you know what I mean? Are you going to be transferring that type of look onto it? And figure out like if you want your clients, if you want to do 24 nails, or do you want your client to buy a sample kit? Like these things matter because if it is 24 nails, it needs to be a higher price point. Like I see some people and they're like 30 nails, and I'm like, 30 nails? No, I don't want to paint 30 nails with 30 designs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't personally want to do that because I got other things going on. Like, I got like other orders, other activities. So I'm like, I'd rather this be custom to you, but to each their own. But like, respect your time. Like, I have this quote on my like board, like that I have all these quotes on that's at my desk, and I'm like, respect your time. I
Mhm.
think because we love what we do, sometimes that can get like in your head, and this is just fun, but this is your job, so respect your time.
Right.
So if this is only making you about $50, why are you spending all day on it?
Right.
Time efficiency. Like time yourself, record yourself, and see what your day is looking like. If you're like doing, put fillers out. Do you guys want going colors? What kind of art do you guys want to see? Put polls out, you know what I mean? Feel your audience and kind of go from there. It's going to be trial and error. It's not going to be perfect, but figure out what's your art, how do you want your clients to size their nails, and if you want this to be a time consuming, like a collector's item, or like do you want just to make single colors for people, or a bit of both, just figure out what your forte is.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's always keeping in mind of charging what you're worth. Because if you are going to do like 20 nails, like say for one set, it makes sense to charge higher.
It absolutely makes sense to charge higher, especially if you're doing specialized art on each of those nails, you know what I mean? Like, you're a painter, like, and you're painting pictures, whatever, on every nail. So let's say if you're painting like all those nails, and some people paint fast. I remember this nail girl like that I like used to talk to on the internet. I don't know where she went, but the girl could paint fast. I'll be like, how many clients you see in a day? She's like 10. I'm like, I could never. First off, I don't have the capacity to sit and absorb all that energy.
Mhm.
Secondly, I'm like, girl, I wish I had your speed. Like, I'm efficient about my time, but like I couldn't imagine being like Ezra Scissorhands. I'm talking about manicures are immaculate too. So some
Right.
people are different with time. So if you're a fast press on maker, that ain't nothing to you. But you still have to respect your time. Like, okay, if this is fast, and I'm like, I'm charging accordingly. So I was saying that, say if you made 24 customized tips, art on hand painting art on every single one, somebody's only gonna pick 10 of those. You only have 10 fingers. They're gonna
Mhm.
fit 10 in your hands. Then you wasted the other,
Mhm.
14. So if I'm adding right, yeah. And it's just like that person is appreciating the what do you call it? The convenience of not having to size their nails or having to buy a sample kit, but then you're wasting product and you're wasting time. I personally feel like, unless they can give that other set miraculously to their friend who it fits. It just has
Mhm.
to be at that price point you want it at, because I've done sets like for, brands and different things like that when you're doing a concept, and it takes a long time to paint that stuff. I'm
Right.
just like, it has to be worth it, really. It
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
worth it. And you don't want to burn yourself out by doing 30 tips for one customer. It's a lot of product.
Hmm. A
So
lot
it's
of
just like to each their own, like really though. But I really feel like once I feel like your sizes, then you're good to go. Like that, my clientele, they know their sizes. Do put it in on the notes, and they're good. You make that one-time investment because these are investments. Like I wear this same set of press-ons like all the time when I have something to do. Like it's just like I have two, and I don't have my nails done. They look like this. I'll pop them on, and it's good to go. You have
Mhm.
to be able to take care of them, but they are reusable, and that's where the value is in them.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I could definitely agree with that. And even with myself, I'm still, trying to
Mhm.
perfect and understand, pricing, because of course that's very,
Yeah,
very important, you know,
yeah,
and with the pricing, like how we talked about, it takes like with material and time, and you have to consider a lot of those things. So don't, sell yourself short.
don't at all. And you know what I mean? I feel like you got to get that voice out the back of your head. Just because you like to do it doesn't mean you shouldn't be paid to do it.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you're in this, you're a business person first. And I think a lot of people just separate that. they think that you're a nail artist. I'm like, no, that nail artist, if they're not booth renting, or I mean like, or they're not being employed, you're your own business entity. You know what I
Right.
mean? You have to pay yourself and all that. So it can't, you just have, I know so many people who like do nails like back in the day that like literally they just stopped because it wasn't profitable for them. And you know what I mean? Like they're just like, I gotta work two jobs besides nails. I'm like, it doesn't have to be like that, but you're also charging, $20 for a gel manicure
Hmm.
when it took you an hour to do that. And like
Right.
you're using Presto and Coco is what now I don't want to say what are you doing because I don't mean that in a condescending way. But like, you know what I mean? And your
Right.
manicure is a person's coming back in 3-4 weeks. Like you got to price it for the longevity of what it's gonna last too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. Now, in terms of collaboration, so I want to talk about your whole collaboration with Manimae. You have your own nail art stickers, nail art prints. And so
Mhm.
what has been your experience working with Manimae?
It's been really like I love Manimae. It's really cool because it's funny because like I told you I had nothing on my nails and like I ran out of time. I wanted to put on a Manimae set before our interview, but then like literally I can put them on like really quickly because they're like super efficient. They're like made to your custom size. Like they're 3D printed to your nail size. So like you upload your nails like in reference to like a card so they can see it. So they fit you. You just are gonna cut off the excess. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Seriously, revolutionary. And I'm not even saying that because I have products with them. I'm saying that because I was like, yo, when I seen like when I became hip to Manimae, I was like, this is genius. Because we have all had like nail strips and things like that.
Right.
And that goes back to like this. Okay, so that their sizing is customizable, right?
Hmm.
And you got to send your sizes in beforehand. You can't
Right.
just go in there and buy it. But once you have your sizes in, you could just put your order in and they're always going to be made to your size. Versus if you buy like another nail strip, which we all have done, and they have 5 million of them, but then people's nail beds are different. You may get the widest one, it might not fit your nail bed. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I really love that about it. And it's just like so much creative. They work with so many creative people, like people that you wouldn't be able to have on your nails, like in general. Now you can have Spitzer on your nails. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I think it's like a really decent price point, and I really personally enjoy it. Like, a lot of times I don't even wear my looks. I'm just like buying other people's looks. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, and that's why I tell people, like, even though I like specialize in press-ons, like I've always been a natural nail artist. Like when
Mhm.
I was like in studio with my clients, like we didn't even do extensions. My clients would get mad at
Right.
me because I'm like, you're growing your nails out. Like we're in this for the long haul. I want to teach you about nail health so you can appreciate this. You know
Right.
what I mean? And my clients' nails will be strong. We do builder gel overlays, like teach them how to respect their nails. So in a sense, like
Right.
I tell people like even though I'm doing press-ons, I'm still about like nail education, like the hydration, the biology of the nails, and like you're not just gonna pull these off. Like preservation is the most, like of your preservation of your press-ons, preservation of your
Right.
nails. And so like I wear polish, I wear mani-me, I wear press-ons, I go gel mani. It's just so much in our field that we can do. Like I think
Exactly.
that sometimes people pigeonhole themselves. And I'm like, just because you see me wearing press-ons this week doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have like regular polish on next week. Like I love
Right.
nails and all the facets it can go into.
Hmm.
That's what I love about it. It's just like you can do whatever you want. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with that. And I recently took a class of vanity projects in terms of
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
like understanding like the different like nail styles, but also too is understanding nail prep too, because I think that's very, very important. And that was
That's like
something.
the main step. Like, you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
feel like I've seen people in personally, even like, how you look at your journey. You're like,
Right.
oh my God, I can't believe I put that on somebody. Or, I can't believe my foundation was that.
Right.
A
Exactly.
lot of times it's like, forget the art. The foundation and
Right.
prep needs to be like top tier because your manicure with all that art is not going to last if you're flooding the cuticles, you haven't prepped the cuticles, you haven't removed the oil off the nail bed, you haven't properly prepped the nail, and everyone's nail is different. People's
Mhm.
cuticles grow different, people have different oily or dry nail beds, their lifestyle is different. So
Right.
prep is most important thing. I don't care if I see so many nail artists like their prep is immaculate and they have one color and I'm just like, I love that. You don't even have to have no art. that looks like it's growing from under that nails and it's pristine. That person takes care of their cuticles. Like that's an art in itself, foundation
Mhm.
and prep. So I appreciate and I respect that, so much.
Yeah, yeah. And it's definitely important. And I still work on that like every day with nail prep, just making sure,
Yes.
when I do my mom's nails to make sure her nails are prepped properly. So with the gel polish I put
Yes.
on, it lasts a long time.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing. Like, it takes trial and error. Like,
Mm,
some products don't work well on people, certain, like even with me and my clients, I'm like, yo, like, why is that like coming up off of you? And even though I've been doing nails for a long time, you have to work with your clients and figure out like what's going to work best for them. And sometimes it could just be the product and them, they don't blend, you know what I mean? Their nail
right.
pH and their biology doesn't work with that brand. And
Mm,
then you kind of like go from there. And it's kind of hard, because like you're learning
mm,
and you're doing it at the same time and you don't want to waste people's time, you don't want to waste people's money, but it's like you have to go through that. You can't expect all products to work for everybody. You know what I mean? I
right.
have certain base coats for certain clients, certain builders for certain clients, certain bits I would use for, different people and depending on how their nails were. So yeah, it just,
Yeah,
and that takes training and other education that costs
right.
money and time. So it's so much to it. We do a lot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I was so glad I took that nail course because, I
Yeah, I
wanted to
bet.
get better with nail prep because that's very, very important.
Yes. That's so cool. And I love that this is becoming more accessible, you know what I mean? From like
Right.
people who like do it so well too, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
innovators in our industry that are willing to like pass that knowledge on. I think that's dope.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. And also to us, especially when he was talking about the products,
Mhm.
another thing that people got to consider is the allergies. Like there's some people that are
Oh
allergic
yeah.
to different nail products.
Exactly. There's, people have like they start to form allergies, they start to get dermatitis and stuff from overexposure. Like you just
Mm,
have to really like have a range of products and like know what are in your products and
right.
what you're putting on people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I think I was getting a pedicure a few years back and the girl was like, it was obviously not my salon. I was going to get my pedicure, but she was telling them, they're like, "What do you have on your nails?" And she was like, "I don't know." Like, and I just think that even as a consumer, you have to know what's being put on your body.
Right.
You can't just go and get nails done. You have to know if you have acrylic, dip acrylic,
Right.
gel, like builder gel, hard gel, soft gel, like what's on your nails? Do you have acrylic and just regular polish on? Like, you know what I mean? There's so many levels to it. And I think as consumers, that's going to help. It's a two-way job. Like, you know what I mean? You have to go back and forth with your service provider, you know what I mean? And
Right.
pick out something that's going to work for you and know what you want to do because you can only do so much. You can prep, you can do amazing product, but if your client is not taking care of their nails outside, outside of that frame for those weeks, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like
Right.
you have to have an agreement going on
Mm,
that you're gonna hydrate your nails and you're going to like, not open stuff. And I have to make sure that I've built your apex and your structure up so it can withhold some of your daily lives. And we gotta go back and forth like that. That length is too long. You can't go 4 weeks like other people, and
right.
just kind of like building that relationship within it, which starts at the foundation.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now I have a quick question in terms of like gels. What's the difference between hard gel and like soft gel?
Okay, so soft gel, you're going to be able to remove this in acetone, 100% acetone. It's removable. You can wear it underneath a gel color. So like a soft gel that I really like to use, I have a couple of them, but Luminary, they
Hmm.
have a soft gel that it's like can be used as a base builder.
Mm,
I have a cocoa-ish one. This gelish one is really good. Orally is really good. So soft gels that can be removed via acetone. Hard gel is something that for a long time I stayed away from it because I was scared of it because of the fact that it could not be removed via acetone.
mm,
But I had to take it upon myself to be educated on that and know that sometimes soft gel is not going to work for every one of your clients. So hard
mm.
gel is a thicker substance and it can only be removed via e-file or filing. or if you're going to file it down and to refill it. So basically, it's like a long-standing relationship with hard gel, and it works on certain clients. Like I had hairstylist clients. Soft gel would do nothing because it's pliable and softer, like in
Mm-hmm.
the name. So water would tear it up. Their nails would be peeling in between, like doing people's hair and stuff. So they needed a hard gel base,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't gonna like flinch. But you also got to understand when you're taking it off, you have to be very intentional because you're filing. So it would be like a refill thing for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I take off the gel polish, buff, file, get it down so I could refill it up. And they were
Right.
like continuing clients. So it's okay for me to do hard gel on a client who's coming back and having maintenance. They're keeping up on that. Now,
Right.
if you give hard gel to someone that you one-time client, I don't think that's going to work because they, for one, cannot remove their nails, and they probably don't know that they have hard gel on. And another nail tech that they go to are like, "What the hell did she put on your nails? I can't get it off." They're soaking your
Mm-hmm.
nails, they're filing in there, like, "What is it?" So it's like
Mm-hmm.
super important, and I believe both of them are essential to like what clientele or what client that client needs. They both are
Mm-hmm.
like wonderful, but you just have to know how to use them. So one can be soft and on that clientele. So you know what I mean. Soft and hard gel, they are necessary. They elongate manicures, but it just
Mm-hmm.
depends on in which way and what client is going to work for.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you've done collaborations with like C&D, Madam Glam, and all these other nail brands, Paranova also.
Mhm.
So how important is collaboration with different nail brands?
I feel like it's super important when you get to that point in your career and like you're willing to like, add value and they're willing to add value into what you do. It's a beautiful thing like working with these companies because you've admired them for so long and you've purchased their products and you've used their products for years, and now being able to work with them is a beautiful thing in collaboration. Like I really love that. I know I was telling my husband the other day, like it's so crazy. Like sometimes like the PR packages I get sent or like different opportunities, I'm like, I'm brought into. I'm just like, wow, but that takes years of relationships and like knowing how to use their product. Like I also feel like I'm the type of person that I don't want to brand with people if I'm not like sure about the quality of their products or I don't personally use it. You know what I mean? Like I don't a lot of people respect my opinion, and so I'm not gonna just like collaborate with anyone. Like I want to collaborate with these people who I know that is trusted, like quality product, and their brand
Mhm.
stands for like equality. You know what I mean?
Right, right, absolutely. Now, what is your whole take of the progression of the nail industry from how you first got into it to now?
Now I just feel like there's so like I feel like in the beginning I just thought like you just paint nails and you have to stay at your desk. And it's like, no, the world is open for nails now. Like
Mhm.
everyone needs a nail artist. Like everyone needs a nail artist. Companies need like, okay, if I was like hand modeling this, you would need someone to like clean up this person's nails to hand model this, you know what I mean? And so I feel like there's people for like LA, San Francisco, Atlanta. There's these hot cities that nail artists are like with agencies, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then you have this like so you have agency, like you can be on contract with the agency who, like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, now you're working with Adidas, you know what I mean? Like you're
Right.
on set for this. So like if there's different ways. So I feel like there's just so many avenues to like do what you want to do now. Like you
Mhm.
can do press-ons, you could do Manimae, you can do editorial, you can be an influencer. I just feel like there's so many like avenues now. It's not just like you don't have to just polish, but if you want to just polish at your desk, cool. But I want you to know like there's so much world out there. It's like don't sell yourself short and don't think that this world is so like small. Like nails are everything. Nails are super influential. People have taken so much interest into nails like as of the
Right.
last 5 years. It's like everyone's like nails, 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 but I'm like, y'all gotta respect what we do and pay the
Right.
price of what we do because
Mhm.
everyone wants a nail artist, everybody wants Instagram nails, no one tags their nail artist, all this.
Right.
It just goes on and like put some respect on it. Like what we do is like artistry. And it's like girlfriend, you could be working with anybody. You put the time in, you connect yourself. Like, there's so many ways to like dream. Like, there's so many dreams you could have in this industry. Don't limit yourself, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And the possibilities are endless, especially in the fashion industry where,
Yeah, like
we
it's
collaborate
crazy.
with these, fashion designers and things
Yes,
like that.
yes. And like, you know what I mean? Like somebody's coming to you with a brief, like, we need this. This is the idea we're going for. Like, and just be comfortable with trying different things because you know what I mean? You just don't know where it can lead you.
Hmm.
Like, I really have so much respect for like nail artists who are out here navigating like all these different waters because that wasn't the blueprint for us. We were supposed to be like painting in a shop, you know? And
Right.
just like so many opportunities. Like, say if you're not even like say if you're like creating press-ons for a fashion house, like for their line, like there's just so many different things. There's so much possibilities.
Hmm.
Education, like you can go on and start teaching your, like, you know what I mean, what you know about nails to the next generation. You know, I think it's very important that we pass that stuff down too. So it's not all about just prettiness and stuff. It's about structure too, you know? So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of products that are out now has progressed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like especially to shorten up like the nail service time as well, like the UV lamps, the
Yeah.
gel
I
paints.
remember having a UV lamp and just being like, this
Hmm.
shit takes forever to cure. And then getting the LED lamp for $500 and being like, whoa, you can't use those UV. Like, you know how there was like LED lamps, right?
Hmm.
And then there was UV lamps, and then they started to merge them. Like, you could have LED and UV in ones, and you just switch the flick. You know what I mean? Or the
Right.
time allowance, the sensory on it, the display. Like, I've had so many lamps in my stay here. It's just like, oh my god, they keep getting better. There's just so much good, cool nail stuff out here. Innovation. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And also the nail education, there's so many things you can learn and things
So
like
much. You
that.
can never know enough. Like, even if you specialize in something, it's so cool to like go out the box and learn from somebody else. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You have to always look at yourself as a student, even if you are like you've been doing it for years. Like, I have so much still to learn, and I always
Right.
keep the mindset. There's always so much to learn. You don't know anything. Keep that mindset so you can progress and like grow your craft, you know? Like, just never be so closed off that you're not willing to like learn from someone else, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. You don't know what you don't know. And just every day is like how you said is a school day. And
Yeah,
you learn you learn about all these nail trends and nail
yeah.
techniques every
It
day.
takes time. And sometimes stuff that's trendy that people like love and want to bring to your chair, that takes a long time. That's actually like a very time consuming. Okay, for example, when Chrome was really in and I was still in my
Mhm.
studio, I'm like, yo, you gotta top this with hard gel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you you have to encapsulate it with hard gel because the tips are gonna start wearing and you are in water all day. Are you built for Chrome life? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many different things. So it's like doesn't work for everybody. Like,
Mhm.
or you want like checker nails. Okay, you gonna sit still? You want checker on every nail?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
you can't do every trend out here just because it's cute. Does it work for
Mhm.
you? Does it work for your nail artist? You know? So time consuming. Our job is time consuming.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Now, what would you like to see within the nail industry?
I would like to see like nail artists being credited. Like,
Mhm.
when you're in a damn magazine and they got everybody on there, but the magazine's pictures like this.
All
Who's the
right.
nail
Showing the
artist?
nails.
The focus is on the nails, but why is the nail artist not credited in that? I
Mhm.
want us to, you know what I mean, within our industry, we have to respect our time and our
Right.
wage. So we're not underpricing other people and then they're going with this medium because someone said they would do it for this low. Like, we have to have an integrity and like a respect for what we do. So when we go out, we're like a united front and
Mhm.
like people are not your competition. Like, I have so many freaking nail friends and we've learned so much from each other. Like, there's so much you can learn from people. I would love to see more collaboration. I would love to
Mhm.
see people, nail artists, being paid what they're worth, getting the recognition
Right.
they work so hard for. I would like brands and people start paying and tagging artists.
Mm-hmm.
Giving people credit where it's due. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
would like to see people being more original and like going with what you feel and doing what you like. And you don't have to do every damn trendy nail
Right.
style that's out there. Just do what's cool for you, and your clientele is going to gravitate towards you. You're going to attract those people that like what you like. You know what I mean? Because I was working at a place where it was just like very they like simple nails, and I had to get up out of there because it was just not driving me to like grow, and it wasn't driving me to like, I was uninspired, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much in the nail industry. Like, just I would just like for us to just get the respect that we deserve. Because I just feel like in the beauty industry, we're like, everyone wants their nails done, but they put us down here, you know?
Right, right.
There's so much artistry to it, just like you tagging the makeup artist, you're tagging and all this stuff. Like, okay, say you're styling someone's hair and you're doing their makeup, it's gonna last a day,
Yeah, it's gonna last a
the
lot of
day.
time.
And then you're not tagging a nail artist and you still got them nails on
Right.
2 3 weeks out. Like, come on, don't do that. Like, and the why is that the lowest price point of your beauty service when you got something that's lasting weeks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, these are not $40 nails anymore. It's just absolutely not anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing too, like how we said before, we spend a lot of time on that service. And, especially with some of these celebrities, and what they
Mhm.
need to be doing is crediting us for the work that we do for
Yes,
them.
yes, yes, yes. And I'm like, it's just so I respect when a nail, like when they tag them part of the, like, I'm like, you forgot who was doing your nails for 2 hours and you just posted that picture and you with everyone else they're crediting it and you didn't. I just find it disrespect. It's a lack of respect
Yeah.
for our industry within the beauty industry. Even though they're like, we're all together, it's beauty industry. People don't respect nail artists the way they do makeup or hairstylists,
Hmm.
or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
stylists. The beauty industry. They don't respect nails, but everybody wants these cool nails, and it's a part of their outfit. It's a part that goes with their shoes, their bag, and it's like it is the item, and everything else is
yeah,
curated around it. Like,
yeah.
let's realize like where this aesthetic and stuff comes from and like give those nail artists that credit.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Nails are just as much of a luxury as anything else, like with hair and fashion and things like that.
I'm like, I don't blink when I say, that's what it is. It's the price. It's the price.
Right.
Like, even like for example, like, because I had to change like up my pricing in a sense because they're different services. I'm not in person. This is a reusable service now, like, press-ons. It's like it's not the same price. Like, I personally know that I'm wearing these nails over and over. You can't wear that gel mani over and over. When it's done, is being e-filed off or soaked off. So
Right.
you have to have value in that too when you're pricing your stuff.
Exactly.
So, like, all the points, everything leads to knowing your worth and knowing where you're spending your time, your money at.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like if you have no problem buying a Coach bag or a Louis Vuitton or a Versace bag, you know.
It's a luxury, and it's like you don't need
Mhm.
any of that stuff. But if you choose to buy this stuff, you got to respect the price point, respect the artist, and know that, like, besides all this, we're not money hungry. We're trying to like eat, and we're trying to provide for our families, and like it's a legitimate job. Like, it's not just like, oh, you do nails, and it's like, let's put some respect on it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. We work very hard at what we
Hard
do.
on your body, it's hard on
Yeah.
your mental and everything. Like, even right now, like, I'm very, very, very pregnant. And like my baby's due in like less than 2 months. And it's like all the neck and the back and the
Yeah.
forwardness and the like how you're structured. Are you stretching? You got to take care of your body. You can't just burn yourself out doing 5 million clients or 5 million sets and you're not appreciating your time, or you're not pricing your product accordingly. Because you
Right.
know what? So many beauty people, their bodies all jacked up. They're not taking the time they need. They're not, eating well. They're not moving their body. They're not getting up. They're not eating lunch in between clients. Like, it's so much to it. It's so much to it. If you want to be in a long haul, you got to respect your time, price accordingly, and you got to, because I remember I used to get like crazy hand cramps and like
Hmm.
strains in my arms from just doing too much. And you have to like sit down and have a talk with yourself. Like, what do you want out of this? You
Hmm.
know? Don't be afraid to price your price. You're gonna lose some people, but you're also gonna gain some people.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be scared that people are gonna leave because you're gonna like. I understand it may be out of price point for some people, but this is a luxury, and somebody's gonna pay for it. Why do the nail artists have to bite the whole bullet for everything? You know,
Hmm.
it's a transaction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, and self-care and especially mental health is very important.
Yeah, you got clients telling you their whole damn life story, and you're taking 7 clients a day, and you ain't ate lunch, you ain't drank no water, you ain't got up and stretched, you just
Right.
soaking in everyone's stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, know your limits and know your boundaries. Boundaries are super important when you're doing this work. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
if you say you're not gonna work Saturdays, don't work Saturdays. I don't give a damn if every nail artist works Saturdays and that's where you get your money at. If you don't work Saturdays, you don't work Saturdays.
Hmm.
Somebody go, man, I've had people call into work. I've had people say they was at the doctor's. Like, people gonna make happen what they want happen for their appointment. They're gonna get childcare. Like, it is what it is. It's a luxury. And I don't want people to see it as it's not. Like, when you're here, you're gonna get some beautiful art. I'm gonna have a beautiful
Right.
time. And you're gonna leave with some nails. When you're like down, you look at your nails, it boosts your mood, you know? Like, nails are just so much more than nails. So like, taking care of yourself is so important in what we do.
Yeah, yeah. That's the entire thing with that. Mental health is very, very important because how do you maintain a work ethic if you don't take care of yourself? How do you maintain that
Exactly.
passion too?
That's when you're gonna have that burnout. And I've had many burnouts because I wasn't respecting myself, respecting
Hmm.
my time. And then when I started to be like, yo, you know what? This can't you can't build a career on that of like constant burnout. And you're, especially when you're a creative, like, you're not just doing one color, one this, one that. You're like constantly creating, and you have to give yourself space to when you're not creating. You can't always be making art and expect to be creative. You got to
Hmm.
go out and experience the world and see things, you know what I mean? So you can have your cup filled back up. And so I think it's important that, artists are taking that time to focus on other avenues. Like, you are not just a nail artist, you're a person that has other interests too. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Another thing too is like with social media, because I know, there'll be some people that get so hooked on social media and looking at people's like artwork and,
Yeah.
and comparison, that's not very good because that's the thief of joy. And you
Leave
don't
the
want to
door.
compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, and it's like, you immediately are going to be devaluing yourself when you're constantly comparing and looking at other people's art. And I also
Mhm.
don't feel like everyone needs to be, what do you call it? Consuming everyone's art. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, all the time. Like, it's nice to like see other people's stuff, but when you go on and you're like looking for inspiration all the time, like, you have to like click off and start to
Mhm.
create, see what you like, because where's the influence coming from? Like, what are you actually like doing that's unique to you, and not like what everyone else is doing? Like, it's easy to compare that. Like, people have different strengths. People can draw like crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people are just like built different, and you gotta appreciate that. Doesn't make you less of an artist. That just means you have a different lane and a
Mhm.
different artistry. You know what I mean? Like, get up off the internet and go practice.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And also too, just because you don't have a lot of likes on something, that doesn't mean it's not your best
Gotta
work.
stop comparing your worth to that, because you know what? You have to have internal validation. Because if you're continually looking for someone to say your art is beautiful, say this is whatever, like, you gotta create and let it go. You gotta put it out there and let it go regardless. Like, there's been sets where I've spent hours on. Ain't nobody comment. It wasn't liked. It wasn't shared. I can't care. Me and my client love that set, and that's really what it comes down to. Then I've had sets where I'm like, it's whatever, or it's really, really simple to me, and it's like, oh my God, these are amazing. And I'm just like,
Right.
you guys don't want real art. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like, but
yeah.
you're perceiving that off of other people's, like, perception. So you gotta, that's very easy to say, but you can get caught up in that. And I also feel like, because when I started doing nails, I'm not like a freaking veteran, but it's been almost 9 years. Like, social media wasn't like what it is now.
Right, exactly.
So you got to get your ass off the internet and go create.
Yes.
Now you can scroll for 5 million hours, and like, what did you obtain from that? You know,
Yeah, that's the thing with that. Now, how would you define success?
success is like what feels good to you, not anyone's other measurement of what success is. Do you like your life? Do you have nice balance within your life? What you do, does it create joy and happiness within other people's life? Like, I have this quote on my board, and it says, the art you create creates joy in someone's life. And that's always been the spark for me for doing people's nails. It's like they see them and they're just like lit up. That always was like, oh, because that's really who it matters to. Like, it doesn't matter if Instagram likes Sally's nails that you did. It matters that Sally likes her nails. You know what I mean? So I feel like success is loving what you do and like enjoying what you have, and not the constant always want for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it for Black representation in the nail community? Like, how important is Black representation within the community?
It's super important because it's like the blueprint of nails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much aesthetic that we have brought to the nail art that is nail art culture now, that was previously called just ghetto and ratchet and all
Right.
these different things. And it's like, but you want that on your nails, but you don't want to give Black women or Black artists credit for it. And it's like, that's not how it works. Like, I just remember being younger, and my mom and my auntie and my grandmas always had like long nails, and they had the gold rings on, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then like people were like, oh, those are ugly, those are ghetto. And it's like, oh, now that's so trendy because white celebrities are wearing those. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like, respect Black artists because they've put in so much, like, Black people, the culture, like the culture has made so much of nail art, like the
Right.
culture of nail. Like, I could go on and on about this topic because there's so much like people don't want to give credit to that because they're just like, well, whatever, like, they try to make it a race thing because like, oh, there's not even Black people who are doing nails. Like, Black people are a small percentage, but Black people are creating
Mm-hmm.
culture for not just like nails, like fashion. And then those things are like
Right.
going over to different entities. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like when you're in a room with other women and you have an opportunity, mention your other Black artist name, you know what I mean? Like, putting, like, giving people credit if you're like redoing that style. Like, I recently
Mm-hmm.
had a situation where um I did mud cloth nails, and they were recreated like that exact mud cloth set with the different colors, like, over and over. It kind of like took on its own thing, and everyone was recreating it, but they weren't giving me credit anymore. I didn't create mud cloth, but then they
Mm-hmm.
started to say boho and Aztec, and it started to take on its own thing, and they started to like, oh, the inspo was from this artist and not this artist, and it just kind of like took on its own thing. And
Mm-hmm.
there was like a nail enthusiast, I think, that recently redid the set, and I think she went back and like looked at all the like tags and tags and tags of people who have recreated that look that I did. And she was like, this is a Black nail artist who did mud cloth. And then it's like there's a white nail artist that's being brought the attention to of this look that she's calling Aztec or boho. And she didn't even create the original look of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's being like gentrified and taken to a different stance. And you know what I mean? Just like that right there. That's like my own personal like experience with like how sometimes Blackness is taken out of the culture of nails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's more digestible that it's boho, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not that it's an African textile and there's culture and there's meaning behind mud cloth.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, we're important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like us as Black people, we're the trendsetters of the world. Like we set a lot of the trends, and everybody's following, the beat of our drum.
Yeah,
Especially with music, we've created a lot of genres of music,
yes.
and everybody wants
But
to
that's the thing is
do.
like I know you've probably seen that quote, but it's like, the world doesn't move without Black creativity. And I think a lot of times it's like, like, we've come from a place where it's like there was lack, so we created out of what we had, and those
Right,
things became so beautiful. And it wasn't like because you had ample amount of supplies, like, you used your creativity and made do, and it just was dope. You know what I mean? And
right.
so I just like that's an ongoing thing in everything, right? Black artists, like people are stealing Black artist designs and whitewashing it and different things
Mm.
like that. Like there's just so much to that, and I just feel like there's such a small percentage of Black nail artists that actually get the credit for like actually setting so much of the trends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like working with brands, like, and
Mm.
not saying that inclusion in there,
Mm.
but this is very like this is very Black culture, what you're showing, but I don't see any Black artists on your roster.
Mm.
This is very Black culture aesthetic. I don't Where are the Black models? Where is the Black artist that created this look? Like I don't understand. And I do feel like, what, yeah, we don't own everything, but it's also like we're not gonna like we're not gonna disregard the input that we've put into it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We make such an impact. And the thing is with the world and how it is, we have to work a lot harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
In any industry, especially within the nail industry, especially
Yeah,
if
like I
you're
used to get people like, oh, you're Black and you do nails? Are you sure? Like I went to a nail supply store and like it was a beauty supply store and she was like, the hair stuff is in the back. And I was like, I'm not looking at the hair stuff. I'm a nail artist. Oh, where do you work? Where's your license number? Let me see your manicure license. Like all of that, because you automatically assumed because I was Black that I was there to do hair.
Mm,
And you couldn't believe that I was working at this very nice studio that was mine. Like I was just like, I don't even want to shop here anymore.
right.
Bring my coins somewhere else. So
Mm,
there's so much to it. There's so much. It's a lot of it's just really embedded into it, and it's our job to constantly like stick up for ourselves and like be straightforward about what we expect and what we want, and value our input to what this is.
yeah, exactly. And also spread awareness to what's going on,
Hmm.
especially in the beauty and nail community, because I believe that's very important.
Exactly. And letting other Black artists know what you're being paid. You know. And like
Mm,
letting them know like she's being paid this amount and you guys have the same type of following and work with the same type of kind of companies. Where's the decimals, like where's the discrepancy in the pay? And I
mm,
feel like a lot of other cultures, they have like a lot more confidence in asking for what they want because they haven't been disregarded. So yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Now, how would you define your impact in the nail community?
uh Such a weird question. Like, how do I define my impact? I would just love that if people experience my art, they enjoy it and they know that it was mine.
Yeah.
Like they've seen it and they're like, oh, that's my Canishiea. Like I can see that. And like, and to be, inspired by others and to inspire others is like a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? Like I really love like seeing people like, oh, I recreated this and I was so excited to do it, and different things like that. So I just love that we have our own little thing that we're bringing to this artistry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I would just like love for people to take away that I love nail art and I'm gonna paint what I want and like moisturize your damn cuticles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've seen like you have like, cuticle oils, cuticle butters, you have the
Mhm.
fragrance rollers.
Yeah, like I'm like nail health is like mad important. And
Mm,
you have to put moisture and water back into your hands, especially if you
right.
want them to last. So yeah, like if you don't see nothing else, go get your damn cuticle oil and put it on.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And last but not least, where can people find you on social media and how can people support your work?
Awesome. People can find me at Nails by Canishiea on Instagram. And then I also have my website, nailsbycanishiea.com. Yeah, so those two places, that's where I'm at. And I have products on both. And you know, share, like, comment, show your friends, you know what I mean?
Mm,
That's Word of mouth is like bigger than anything.
mm.
There's people who don't have IG and they found me some type of way on Google or through a magazine article. And so it's just like, it's a beautiful thing, like how, our work kind of gets spread around.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you so much, Canishiea, for jumping onto the show. This is a really great discussion that we
Thank
had.
you. Thank you for
Um,
having me. Thank you. It was really nice. It's always nice to like talk about our industry and like what could be done and what's exciting. It's fun. It's fun.
yeah, your work is very, very incredible. I love how
Thank
consistent it
you. Your
is.
work is incredible, girl.
Yeah, thank you so much. And congrats on the baby.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, wish you all the best of luck and success in endeavors. And
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank, thank you so much. It was nice speaking with you.
Nice speaking with you. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.